now because I have to like balance my phone on things while I'm sitting at my desk.
Well, I've just learned that going live, that pre-page will definitely time out on you if you have it on up for too long. So
yeah, that it's a little scary, that going live page.
it totally is.
I went ahead and hit the record button because I know you guys are already sharing awesome tips. Doug shared about The Power of Self-Discipline book by Brian Tracy. Nicole, I didn't hear what you shared about your camera being up high because I was finding record. But I hopefully recorded that. And we're looking forward to hearing from Jenn whenever you're ready, Jenn.
Okay. Well, then I'll go ahead. Let's see, you're already started recording. I'll go ahead and take us live to Team Transformers.
Great.
Let's see if this works.
Yep. It says meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Well, here we are, guys. Wow. I am so honored to be speaking today. I was asked about a month ago from Sandy if I would be willing to come on and talk with everyone today. And my first thought is, oh my gosh, why me? Why should I get on there and talk? And then I realized that that was a red light story. And we're actually going to talk about mindset and red light and green light stories today. And I really hope that this can be an interactive process with everyone. This has been something that I've been learning and working on for a little while, and I hope you get a lot out of it too. So first of all, I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Jennifer Martinson. I'm a QSSC, and I've been in the Juice Plus company about 4.5 years. I think I came in summer of 2016. And since Sharon had an awesome talk last week about confidence, I thought we would kind of continue that whole thing and really look into our mindset and the importance of having a really good, solid mindset in this business. I don't know about you guys, but I have found that my mindset is everything. Even if I'm taking the exact same actions in my business, if my mindset is not where it needs to be, I can immediately watch my results change from a really positive streak to a really negative streak. So I don't know about anybody else, but I have struggled with my mindset on a daily basis. Does anyone else deal with that, especially in this business where you have to be so vulnerable? So for the last few months, I've been going through some coaching that really starts and centers around having the right mindset. And I thought I would share with you guys a little bit about what I've been learning. And I really hope this can be interactive, and let's help each other kind of break through some of these limiting beliefs. Because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that if you have limiting beliefs, then you will always have limited success as well. So first off, disclaimer, I don't own any of this content. This is what I've been learning through Bob Heilig's Legacy Leadership Academy. So all credit goes to him for a lot of some of these quotes that I have out there. And I know some of my other juicy friends are in the academy with me as well. And we've all been working through our mindset and being really open and vulnerable about the different things that we're telling ourselves on a daily basis and how that affects how we show up every day. And I know a lot of you guys also like to read Brene Brown, and she really touches upon really similar concepts about your mindset and what you're telling yourself and the stories that you're making up. So one of my favorite quotes, and this one stuck really close to home for me, was, if you aren't where you want to be in your business, it can all be boiled down to your mindset or lack of belief. And that could be a lack of belief in a lot of things, a lack of belief in the business model, lack of belief in the product, lack of belief in yourself as a leader. And that's one that I have struggled with. And I'll be very vulnerable and open with everybody about that. And another really good quote that I really enjoyed that really struck home for me was, You only stop taking action towards your goals the second you stop believing those dreams are possible for you. So has anyone else struggled with inconsistency in their business? I know I'm not the only one. I'll be on this massive streak. I'm just, rocking and rolling and good things are happening. My mindset's in the right place. I let myself take my foot off the gas, and then immediately I stop taking action and the doubt crowds in. Is anyone else? I know I'm not the only one that has that. And Gloria Hare is also commenting that she's doing the same training at the same time. And I love that a lot of our team, especially New Mexico, we're going through this training at the same time. But when you don't possess strong beliefs in yourself, then every single no that you get in this business kills your confidence and your sense of self-worth. So one thing I've been struggling with, so if anyone else has struggled with this, but when you start tying your sense of self-worth to the results in your business, then every time you get a no, what does that do? It kills your confidence, right? Has anyone else felt that? You have a month where it seems like everyone needs to either postpone or cancel. You are going out there, you're doing your best, and yet you feel like nobody is responding to it, right? Well, one thing I want to make very crystal clear for everyone is that your self-worth is based on who you are as a person, and it's not what you do. It's not what you achieve. It's who you are. And when we're able to have a really deep sense of our self-worth, then those yeses and nos do not change the way we view ourselves. And that's incredibly important. And I feel like it's really important in this type of business as well. I come from corporate America. I'm a software engineer. This was nowhere on my radar to do anything like this, but I'll tell you that it has stretched me beyond anything else in the last few years. I've never learned so much about myself, about how to interact with people, about how to be a positive leader in people's lives than being a part of this business. So I hope you all take heart that what you're doing will help you grow to become the best version of yourself. Because again, I've been in corporate America a long time, and I've never had the level of self-development that I've had in these last few years with Juice Plus. So what was pivotal for me was when I understood that the beliefs that you have are really just stories that we tell ourselves. So when you're going through life and you're going through your daily life, you are interpreting your circumstances and your life through a lens of those stories. So these stories can either propel you forward or they can hold you back. And the crazy thing is, these stories are neither true nor false. It's just your interpretation of what's going on around you. So I want to introduce you to something that me and some of my other sideline buddies have all been learning, and it's called the formula for transformation. What this means is you have your circumstances, which is just the facts of your life. They're neither good nor bad. The circumstances for me is that I'm at the QSSC level. I make X amount in my paycheck. Last month I had X number of customers and X number of team. That's neither good nor bad. We keep saying things like, oh, I had a bad month or I had a good month. But really those facts, it's just the facts of where we're at in our business right then and there. Our stories and beliefs, that's how we interpret our circumstances. If I don't get 5 customers in a month and I start saying to myself, man, I had a bad month. I really just didn't get the number of customers that I wanted. Well, that's me making up a story and looking at that month through a lens. Now, your stories are going to create feelings within yourself. Now, if you're focusing on positive feelings, then your feelings are going to be very positive. If you're focusing on negative feelings, then you're going to have negative stories, then you're going to have negative feelings as well. Now, your feelings then merge into your actions. So when you have negative feelings about what's going on in your business, what usually happens? Do you either not take any action or you start taking very weak action where you're going through the motions, but you don't have the conviction or the confidence, like Sharon was talking about, to really be impacting somebody else. Now, on the flip side, when your mindset is, when you're feeling positive, and I make up a story, man, you know what? I had 3 customers last month. That's amazing. I was making a difference in 3 people's life last month, as opposed to focusing on the fact that, oh, I didn't get 5. What do you think that's going to do with my actions for the next month? I'm going to be more excited. I'm going to show up positively. And I'm immediately going to have a higher sense of confidence, right? My shoulders are going to be back. My chest is up. My head is high, right? Do you see how the way you feel immediately gets put into your actions? Now, then your actions over time, that's what creates your results. Now, if they're always, they can either be good or bad. So when you have negative stories that's floating around in your head, that's leading to negative feelings, that's leading to weak or no action, what is that going to do in the long term for your results? You're not going to get where you want to be, right? Whereas if you go the opposite route, if you focus on the positive and you make up positive stories about your circumstances, that creates positive feelings in your gut, in your chest, and that comes out in positive actions, then over time, what do you think is going to happen with your business? You're going to see amazing results. And I've definitely seen that. I can tell you exactly when my mindset is right and when my mindset is wrong. And it's very evident in my business. So, okay, anyone else love Brene Brown? I know I'm not the only one. I know a lot of us have gone through Brave Leaders Plus program, which is an amazing process. She talks about something very similar. She calls them silly first drafts. I'll keep it clean. She calls them silly first drafts. When there is some kind of circumstance, maybe your husband walks in the door and he just, what are you making up in your head about the interpretation of that sigh? Now, the circumstances, he just walked in and sighed. You do not know ultimately what he's sighing about, but are you making up in your head, oh, he's mad because I haven't had a chance to clean the house. The kitchen isn't very clean and I haven't actually got dinner on the stove yet. You're making up that silly first draft. And what happens? It comes out in the way you feel. All of a sudden you're in a negative spiral. You act negatively too. All of a sudden you're snippy with your husband. And what's the result? Probably a fight over dinner, right? All because you interpreted something, and it's neither good nor bad, but you interpreted it negatively. So one of the terms that I wanted to bring up with you guys, I'm sure you've heard me say this before in some of these other lunch and learns, is the concept of red light stories and green light stories. So a red light story is a negative story, and basically they grind us to a halt. It's like, think of red light, stop. Green light story is a positive story and they propel us forward. So here's the really cool thing, and I really hope everyone gets this and understands this. Your interpretation in the story you make up is not necessarily true, because you honestly have no idea what is actually going on around your circumstances. It is your interpretation. It's neither true or false. So if that's the case, why don't we interpret things and choose to interpret things in a positive manner and create green light stories instead of red light stories? Because as you have started to make up all of these different stories, and it's really going to affect how you're showing up on a daily basis in your business. So if we have a choice, we can choose every day in every moment to practice the formula for transformation and convert our red light stories to green light stories. So, okay, let's see if we can get a little interactive. I want to talk through some examples, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have some of these similar feelings. I want you to imagine you're about to reach out to someone on your chicken list, okay? This is someone you know, you looked up to, you think the world of this person, you think they would be amazing in this business. What does your mind start telling you as you're trying to pick up the phone? So go ahead and write in the chat. I want to see some different things, and I'll tell you some things that my mind starts telling me sometimes. Like, oh, she won't be interested. She's too successful and too put together. Why would she follow me? Oh, she doesn't need this business. She'll just think that I'm a salesperson. Oh, so Gwen put one out there. Breathe, just be yourself. You can do this. That's a green light story. How much more are you going to show up when you're telling yourself that? Breathe, just be yourself. You can do this. But how do you feel when some of the things that I was saying? She doesn't need this business. She doesn't need the money. She would not be interested in this at all. She'll just think I'm a salesperson. What does that make you feel? Oh, Michelle has a good one. Don't focus on the outcome. That's another green light story, is not focusing on the outcome. You are just doing the activity. And Gwen says, I wouldn't do the call. Yeah, if you start saying red light stories in your head, maybe you just don't even do the call. You chicken out. Oh, you know what? I need to go put the laundry on. Oh, I love Jamie's. How can I bless her today? That is a green light story. I like Kathy. My mom says, just be real, transparent. Let her know your purpose is helping people. Doug says, just bring value and be a light. Maybe they will be open and maybe they won't. I love this. You guys are already taking what could be very negative red light stories and you're converting them into green light stories. And just think about how that makes you feel. How are you going to show up when you finally call that person? If you've let the red light stories completely take you down, then do you think you're going to be confident, like Sharon says? No, they're going to feel it. And if you're not confident about what you're offering, why is anyone going to join you? I like what Janice says. I can ask myself, what is the worst that can happen? I can survive this. But what is the best that can happen? I can really help this person. My goodness, you guys are all so wonderfully evolved. I love this. I feel like I'm learning so much just by reading what you guys say, because I struggle with these red light stories on a daily basis. I have to write them down and I have to physically convert them from a red light story to a green light story. Oh, Gloria has a good one. Here's my red light story. They've already been unsuccessful in another MLM. Ooh, that's a hard one. So how could we take Gloria's red light story and convert that to a green light story? They've already been unsuccessful in another MLM. Well, maybe they were unsuccessful in the other MLM because that was not the community that they belonged in. That was not the community that fed them as a person. And just maybe our community can be that. Oh, Elaine's got a good one. If I don't tell her, I'm deciding for her. And Sharon has a good one. Our biz is so different and I'm excited to help her understand how it is. See, this is amazing. We're all learning how to take these red light stories that we know we all have these that come through our brains, right? But we have to learn how to convert them over to green light stories. All right. Man, you guys are amazing at this. I love it. So if our stories are not necessarily true, then why don't we make up something that actually propels us forward? So I'm going to take some of those red light stories that I told you earlier, some of the first that pop in my head when I'm wanting to talk to one of my chicken list people, and I'm going to flip them around to green light stories. So I think she's probably been looking for something like this for a while. Who knows? She might have a need that I can fulfill for her. I'm being a good friend by not making the decision for her. And I know someone else put that in there as well, is when we make up these red light stories and we do not talk to that person, how arrogant is that of us that we made the decision for them? Now, how do you feel after we're talking through some of these positive green light stories? We feel more pumped, more excited. And is that prospect going to feel that when we're talking to them? Absolutely. And so this concept is so incredibly simple, but at the same time, it is so hard. This is something, again, that we have to always be renewing our mind every single day, managing our thoughts, taking control of our thoughts. Learning to master your mind takes a lot of soul searching, and it's incredibly vulnerable. So is it worth it? I would say yes. I can definitely notice my business, just I'm making an impact in people's lives. I watch my business skyrocket when my mindset is set at a good, high, positive frequency. And when I let my mindset come down, when I let myself, oh, I'll just take a break. I'm gonna go on vacation. I'm not gonna worry about Juice Plus for a week. And then I just watch all the doubts creep in. It's like a muscle that you are exercising that muscle every single day. And when you let yourself take the foot off the gas, then the muscle starts to atrophy. Just like if you just stop going to the gym for a month, you're like, oh, it's fine. It'll be there when I get back. And then you realize that you've just set yourself back 3 months in your health journey. So here's the other interesting thing. Bob Hiley teaches that you must put this out onto paper or you'll never move past your stories. And I struggled with this in the beginning. I'm not a paper person. I'm a techie. I like everything on the computer. I like to do it in my head. I don't want to write on paper. But what he really talks about, the importance of writing down your stories, actually physically writing it down on a piece of paper, and then turn your red light story, and flip it and write out a green light story. And that's what he calls the practice of the formula for transformation, is practicing every single day. And what a lot of us find is that a lot of our red light stories ultimately boil down into one big story. Could be a sense of unworthiness, low self-confidence, feeling like, why would people follow me? Why me? Why am I, why should people listen to me? So are you guys ready to get a little vulnerable? Remember, we're all being brave today. We're being very brave. With that in mind, I want you to grab a pen and paper. Okay, we're going to spend a few minutes turning our red light stories into green light stories. And I really hope some of you are willing to be brave and actually share with us some of your red light stories and how you flip it over into green light stories. Okay, so I'm going to set a timer for about 3 minutes. Actually, I'll give you 5 minutes. We'll do 5 minutes. That'll be enough time. We're going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And I want everyone to grab your piece of paper and I want you to think. Picture your dream team member. This person is at the top of your chicken list. You admire and look up to this person. Now think about the fact that you want to approach this person about your business. Write down the red light stories that are popping in your head. And if you're brave, in a minute, you can share. Okay, I'm going to give us a 5-minute timer starting now. All right, everyone's got your piece of paper.
I'm a little confused. I'm not sure what is. Can you just say it again?
Sure, Nicole.
Thank you.
So I want you to think about the person that you admire the most, that you would love to have in your team. And I want you to think about, you're going to go approach this person about joining the business. I want you to listen to what your mind is saying and write down if there's any negative red light stories, like things that you might be making up about before you talk to her. Like, oh, you know what? She wouldn't be interested in this. Or, you know what? Oh, she might really look down on me for bringing this up with her. I want you to write down any of those negative thoughts that come into your brain and physically write it down on your piece of paper. And then we want to try to take those thoughts and let's flip them to a positive, a green light story. Why would she be interested in joining your business? Think of it from a positive perspective. Does that make a little bit more sense, Nicole?
Yes, totally. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, girl. Two and a half minutes left. Are you coming up with some red light stories? Or are you immediately going to green light stories? So less than a minute left. How's everyone doing? Anyone feeling brave? All right. Time's up. Did anyone have some good soul searching out there? I'm hoping that we're going to have some brave people that are willing to share. And because I've learned from John Maxwell that a leader should never ask people to do what they're not willing to do themselves, I'll start with the vulnerability. So some of the red light stories that were popping into my head as I'm thinking of this one specific person that I'd love to have on my team. Why would she want to follow me? She's going to judge me and look down on me for being part of one of those schemes. Will I lose all her respect if I ask? My health isn't perfect, so why would anyone listen to me? And those are definitely things I struggle with on a daily basis. But I'm going to flip them on their head. Change these to green light stories. She is working herself ragged in real estate and doesn't have much time for her kids. This might be an answer to her prayer. This amazing business model is a path to personal freedom if she chooses to work it. I am worth following. I am a good leader. I may not have perfect health, but my journey will inspire and bless others who are also struggling. And I can immediately tell as I say those green light stories, I sit up straighter. Okay, Nicole said she can go next. Nicole, why don't you go ahead?
Thank you. Okay. So my red light story is she's too busy. She wouldn't be open to fruits and vegetables. She knows too much. She's completely satisfied with her life. I'm not a doctor. Why would she listen to me? Because she is a doctor. And so, I shift that over to green lights thoughts to in the same order. How fruits and veggies can help her support her family, which it goes with one that you just mentioned that I wrote it down to on how this can be an answer to her prayers. I like that better. The other one is how can this opportunity support her and her vision for her future? She loves learning. There is always room for growth, meaning time is freedom. Being a doctor, she's very constricted in time and she works long hours. And I have a lot of experiences to share. And as
I love
I was writing them down, I could feel ease on me. Thank
You
you.
know, even Nicole, when you were telling us those things, when you're reading the red light stories, you were shrinking. And as soon as you started reading the green light stories, you're smiling, your face was glowing, and you're sitting up straighter. So, I mean, our thoughts have power, really. And I think Nicole's a really good example of that. Okay, does anyone else want to share?
I'll go. Okay, so mine is a lady that has been going to different cities helping. She's a nurse, so she's been helping with COVID situations. But she is depleted emotionally, physically, and in every way. And I have talked to her a little bit about Juice Plus, and I just don't think she realizes that it could really benefit her. But part of me wants to go, I just want to give it to you. If you're going to be working with COVID people, just take it and let's see. But she would be amazing because she loves people and she loves to help, or she wouldn't be traveling to help people with COVID. And this it would help her financially. It would help her, I think, confidentially. It would make her feel powerful because she is so knowledgeable being a nurse. I think she would rock it.
I love
The
that.
negative is she hasn't jumped on board even for the product yet. You've already done it. You've already approached her before. Why would she listen now? Why would she change her mind? And is that going to put a damper on your friendship? Is she going to always just think of you as the Juice Plus lady rather than, hey, I want to help you so bad? Yeah.
I love that. Did you guys notice that my mom went straight for the positive? And I think that's why she is so good at this. Sometimes it takes her a minute to think about the negative because she does go straight for the positive. She's always thinking about others. So I think, and I'm gonna make you blush, Mama, but she is a wonderful example of how to correctly do the formula for transformation because her mindset is always in a great place. She's always thinking about others and she's always going to that positive space. And oh, don't shake your head. You know you are. You're amazing. So I have to shout out to my mom because I think we all could learn a lot from her. I know I do. Thank you, Mom, for sharing. Does anyone else want to share? Anyone want to be brave?
I can go, Jennifer.
Yay, Michelle.
So it's funny because I think a lot like your mom does. Like I'm always thinking of the positive most times. So it was harder for me to come up with a negative, which I did list in my mind. Sometimes I might say, you know what, they don't really need this business. You know, they're successful at what they already do. And then I also think sometimes, because I do have a larger team and a lot of customers, like, would they want to be in charge or bothered with having a team and customers? But if they are like me, which we want to attract people like ourselves, then we know that they would love to be helping people all the time. Like that would be fulfilling. So that wasn't written, but it just came to my mind. So I always think positively is she's forward thinking and would love to have another stream of income. Who wouldn't want to have another stream of income, especially now in the times that we're in? And then who wouldn't want to be a part of this community where we're just every day surrounded by such positive people, we're helping people not only with their health, but also their finances. And we're learning so much and things that we can now apply to our families and friends. So it's who wouldn't want to be a part of that?
I love that. Michelle's another example, just like my mom, of someone who immediately goes to the positive. And look at how good these ladies are at doing this, because they have such servant hearts and they're all about putting everyone else first. And if you think about it, that's really the difference between a red light and green light story, right? A red light story is focusing on me and how I feel. And a green light story is ultimately focusing on the other person and what it could possibly do for them. So I thank you so much, Michelle. That was amazing to hear. And she's definitely one that I look up to and strive. I want to be like Michelle and my mom when I grow up.
Well, thank you.
Okay. Well, we've actually got done pretty early. So does anyone else want to be brave and share some of their red light stories and how you switch it to a green light story? I know this is asking a lot. This is vulnerable.
Hey, Jen, I'll share.
Yay, Stacy.
So sometimes when we're sharing with people and you can make a judgment about their, I don't know, their finances. So it could be on the Juice Plus side, you could think there's no way that they can afford this. So probably I would have to say I have an issue then if I think Juice Plus is expensive. But then think about the same thing with the team. If you thought she doesn't need any extra money, like why would she be interested in this? I'm making assumptions, like you said, about what she had to say or like for her. So making that decision for her. And that's so unfair. And a lot of times we just don't even know the depths of that person's, we don't know what's going on in their life. So it's going to be that conversation. But I have thought that sort of like, especially like somebody who's got a lot going on, why would they add this in? This, why would they want to be a part of this? But then if I start thinking about why I love it, then it's easy in the conversation to drop those things into that. And that's something just this week I had been really thinking more about. Why do I love this? And then I had a conversation with someone yesterday about Juice Plus, but I invite every customer that I get into my team because I don't know if they're going to be interested or not. But I dropped a whole bunch of those things that I loved because I had just revisited all of those and they were fresh in my mind. And she said yes. So I didn't know her at all. That was the first time we had met. And as we talked, I found all these commonalities that I was like, oh my gosh, she's so good. Like, I didn't know that. I didn't walk in with the assumption she would or she wouldn't, but I had to bring it into the conversation to even get to that point. But it had to be in my mind first. So maybe something to do if you're just not confident in inviting to the team is making a list of things you love about it. And then that helps bring that into conversations that you have with people.
Oh, thank you. That is fantastic. I think we all have to be reminded about that, right? Is why did we come to this in the first place? I'm an example of someone that would have never thought I would have done anything like this. And yeah. Gloria stayed after me for 2 years. And I did not need the money. I had a very successful software engineering job. I already had multiple jobs. I was teaching at the college. I teach Zumba. Like, it's hilarious how many different things I do. And I had no inkling that I would ever remotely want to do anything like this. But you know what I found was it filled a community need that I needed, and I didn't even know I needed. I didn't know that there could be such an amazing community of like-minded people that are always lifting you up, that you're all in business together, but it's such a positive way. And it fueled something in me that I never thought I even needed. And I'm grateful that Gloria stayed after me for a few years. And then that I got the vision from Gloria and Stacy and Sharon and Julie about how it could be an even bigger part of my life than just paying for my own product. So eternally grateful for you ladies.
And I'd like to say something that I haven't heard mentioned. You never know what's going to happen in your life. I mean, there are no guarantees. And we were doing well, and my husband all feeling great. I mean, both of us, when we have certain health issues, as you all know, and we had no idea. And then when all of a sudden you're faced with a diagnosis of cancer, or you have pulmonary sarcoidosis or something like that, and you're going, wait a minute, that's not part of my plan for my life. I've got things I want to do, places I want to go, people I want to help and see and do things with. And then all of a sudden, it just is like, oh my gosh. And I tell people, I said, I was feeling great. I was feeling fantastic. And then I fell on the ice and I got a chest x-ray and a CT scan on my head, and all these lesions in my lungs appeared. And then my husband went for a routine physical and they found, chronic myeloid leukemia. So you don't know what's going to happen. And that impacts you not only physically, but financially, emotionally, relationally, everything, because you can't do as much. You are scared, and no matter how strong your faith is, and thank God for being there for us. But at the same time, you just are afraid. And so the Juice Plus gives you a way not only to become healthier. I mean, in the last year, Lake's had no detectable signs of cancer in his blood. That's a miracle. Our oncologist is amazed. He is like, are you kidding me? That's incredible. My lesions have not changed, grown, or anything in forever, And so we're very blessed. So that's what's happened to us. And then besides that, and then that's the physical side, that's the health side. And then the financial side is that there's a sense of community, and there's a sense of a chance to have more financial security, because Lake's cancer, incredible. I mean, his income dropped immediately by 70%. And, that's a huge hit by 70%. And so it is, you have this sense of, okay, I'm now kind of in charge of my destiny, and I can do something about this. I can work with people who care about me. I can work with the Lord. We can make this. We can survive this. We can do this. And that is the very best thing about the Juice Plus and the whole company, the whole aspect, everything about it, And so that's what I tell people is you don't know, you may wake up one morning and you get slammed. You simply don't know what's in the future. So do this and kind of plan for that, kind of be ready for that. That's all I have to say.
I love that, Jana. Jana, who invited you to the business and to taking Juice Plus?
Well, Cindy Galloway. And
I thought it was Cindy.
I'm embarrassed because, see, I was involved in something else, Market America, before this, and there were supplements and stuff, and Cindy started talking to me about that. And when she said Juice Plus, I thought, I do not want to be squeezing a bunch of vegetables. Juice, so I quickly tell people, this is whole food nutrition in capsule or chewable form. You're not squeezing all these juices, and buying the super ninja thing. And so, and I was already involved in something else, not successfully, but at least it was providing for what I felt was some of our nutritional needs. But Cindy invited me. And then I kid you not, when Blake was so ill and he was dying, I mean, he could not lift his head off the pillow. He could not eat. He could not drink any water, nothing. And I prayed, and Cindy's face came into my mind, and I called her and I said, that Juice Plus stuff you were telling me about, tell me some more. And so we met at my office at the college, and she signed me up for the Juice Plus, product. And then I said, well, I might as well just be a distributor. I mean, at least I'll get my product for a little bit cheaper. So, within 10 minutes, I was doing both. I didn't work the business for quite a while because I was trying to get Blake to survive, and I was working at the college, a special project and stuff like that. So I didn't actually start doing much with it until about the summer of 2018. So it's been about a year and a half that I really started doing much. But it was Cindy. She was the one that told me about it.
How grateful are you that Cindy stood out and she made herself vulnerable to share with you? And Cindy is so sweet and soft-spoken. And I know that it's got to be hard to put yourself out there, right? But she did. And what a difference it has made in your life and in your husband's life.
Well, I knew Cindy for years and years and years. And, her husband, Shane, started working at our family business like when he was 16 or 17 years old or something like that. And then Cindy and Shane married, and they're just an incredibly wonderful couple. Always been there for us. So, yes, I am very grateful for Cindy. And Cindy, she didn't push. She says, okay, but it was there. The seed was planted. And I think we have to remember that we need to plant lots of seeds, and we don't know when they're going to sprout. But by golly, it's sprouted big time. So,
well, there's so many good things about what you just said. So many nuggets I just want to write down about really planting a lot of seeds, because you don't know when they're going to sprout. Anyone else? They've got a tower garden out there. I know you guys, a lot of you have tower gardens. I'm replanting mine right now, and I'm doing the seedlings. And what I've noticed is my arugulas sprout so quickly, like crazy. And then some of the other things, like the rainbow chards, they start to sprout a little bit slower, but they eventually come. Then spinach, if I can get it to sprout at all, comes much later. And so I guess that's kind of a good analogy for what we do. We're spreading seeds all around, and we don't know which ones are going to come to fruition quickly, which ones we have to continue to water and care for, and they'll come a little bit later, and some that come even later still. So, but just think about Jana's story, and that would not have been possible if Cindy had not overcome her red light stories and approached Jana. And my mom put something in the chat that if Gloria had not pursued me, then she would not be happy and so much healthier than ever before. So just the fact that Gloria continued to love on me just as a customer for a few years and continued to ask me into the business, and I finally said yes, well, then I'm getting my family on board, and then me and my mom get to work this together. None of that would have been possible if Gloria would have let her red light stories stop her from sharing with me and continuing to share with me, even when I said no multiple times, but always doing it in a loving manner. And yes, just a big thank you to everybody today. I love that we were all able to be so vulnerable and learn from each other on how we can work to overcome our negative red light stories, and also just recognize them. Sometimes we don't even recognize them, right? So I'm so grateful that you guys joined me today. And I'm just honored that I was asked to speak today. And I hope you got something good out of this. And I guess that's it for today, guys. Thank you
Wait,
so much.
one more thing to say. One more thing.
Go ahead, Jenna.
This is not related to what we've been talking about, but I just got an email from True Garden. They sell seedlings. They're located in Phoenix, and they have produced an 142-page ebook, and there's all these chapters about, you know, everything you should do it for cilantro, and everything you should do for spinach, and everything you should do for whatever else. And it's $29, and you can download it. And so you might go to truegarden.com, and if you're interested, because we had 3 tower gardens, but we brought some stuff in from outside, and then we got spiders. So now we pulled everything out, and we got to start all over again. But we had some gorgeous stuff. I mean, it was, but I just wanted to tell everybody about that ebook because it might be beneficial for someone. And thank you, Jennifer. You've done a fabulous job. This has been wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
Thank you,
helpful.
Jenna. Thank you, everybody.
Very helpful. We could do this for all of our different chicken list people. I think it's very valuable, Jennifer. I know it helped me. Anybody else? Raise your hand if it helped you.
I just want to say that was incredible. Jennifer, you are a beast.
Thank you.
I mean, you're such a great leader, teacher, speaker. I mean, I was already impressed, and now I don't even know what to say. I mean, you're awesome.
Wow. Well, I want to say that Doug ran into somebody today who is paying $18,000 for coaching. And if you're in this business with this company, taking advantage, you are getting personal growth all the time. You know, you're being exposed to it all the time. So be thankful and take advantage, and let's practice what Jenn taught us today. Awesome. We'll see you guys on Friday. And are there any events? Oh, Dr. David Phillips, right? What day is today? Today's Monday. Sorry. We'll see you guys Wednesday. And Dr. David Phillips is Thursday night. And anyway, keep your nuggets coming from that winter summit. It was so good. Good stuff.
Have a good day, guys. Catch you later.
Thanks. Sharon, I think you have to stop the recording.
Oh, yeah.
Great job, Jennifer.
And you are